Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar about Marketing Center Basics. My name is Mickey Taylor, and I am going to be your webinar presenter today. I write articles for Agent at Home magazine as well as Vacation Agent. So hopefully you have read a few of those and you also find them very helpful. If you have any questions during today's webinar, if you could go ahead and just type them here in the chat section, I will work those in as we go through the features about the Marketing Center. So let's go ahead and get started. And for those of you who are new, I want to, I'm starting from the very beginning, showing you how to get to your Marketing Center. And you do that by scrolling down to the bottom of your website, clicking on Sign In. You will be asked to input your username and password. And that, by the way, will have been emailed to you when you originally set up your Agent Studio website. And then once you are into the control panel, we want to go ahead and click on Marketing Center. Okay, again, you are brought to a login screen. This is the same login information that we just used to get into our control panel. Okay, so once in the Marketing Center, you are brought to your dashboard. And the dashboard is just really a place where you can find some helpful shortcuts. So Quick Start gives you a very short overview of what you can do with the Marketing Center, provides a link to helpful videos, a link to start a campaign or email, and a shortcut to importing your contacts. You also will find news and updates about the latest versions and upgrades to the Marketing Center and what they have fixed or added. And at the bottom, if you have any campaigns that are queued up and ready to be sent out, they will appear under queued campaigns. If you have any drafts that you've recently saved, that will show up in your recent drafts, and it will give you the performance of your last campaign that you sent out. Okay, so we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump on into contacts. And if you haven't already done so, I strongly suggest that you as soon as you get the chance, you go ahead and add all of your contacts into the Marketing Center, because you are actually missing out on a lot of free marketing that comes with your Agent Studio website. And what I mean by free marketing, every Thursday morning, Agent Studio sends out an email called the Week in Travel. And I have one that's open right here. So this is what the Week in Travel looks like. Okay, it's branded with your agency name, and the image at the top is always the same. So it's very easy for your clients to get used to seeing. The first section will be the top 5 news stories that were read within the previous 7 days. The next section is the most popular deals within the previous 7 days. And then the last section is a spotlight on a random destination. Okay, and then again at the bottom, it says that it's sent by your agency in collaboration with Agent Studio. Okay, every time something is clicked in these newsletters, it takes them right back to your website. Okay, so not only is this driving traffic back to your website, it's also being done for you basically for free. So if you don't have your contacts uploaded into the Marketing Center, like I said, I strongly suggest that that is one of the first things that you do as soon as the webinar ends and you find the time to do it, because that email newsletter You don't have to do one thing for it other than add your contacts. And it brings me a lot of business because we come across people and we add them to our marketing center and we have a chat with them. We give them our business card. 90% of those people lose our card. They forget about us. But if you are sending them something out at the exact same time every week without fail, they are going to remember you. And they're going to reach out to you whenever they need assistance with travel. So just make sure that you're taking advantage of all that your Agent Studio subscription has to offer. Okay, you can generate leads from within the Marketing Center by generating this little lead form. You have some options of where you want anyone that signs up for the newsletter, where you want their contact information to go. If you don't have any other folders set up or mailing lists set up, it will automatically go to the master only, which is a good idea to always have all of your contacts in the master list and then move them into subsequent or add them to additional folders. You have a couple options of how you want the form to look, and you can give it a name. And then at the bottom, it gives you the code to import or to paste rather into your webinar website platform. And once you have added it, let me pull up a demo site and show you what that looks like. Let's see if I picked the right demo. I don't think I did. Yes, I did. So when you insert it, it will look like this. You can insert it in the footer, depending on your subscription. You can also create a page just for the newsletter. Okay, so that's a great way to get people to sign up for the newsletter and be added into the Marketing Center automatically. Okay, jumping back, let me close this. Jumping back into the actual Marketing Center, let's talk about the couple different ways that you can add contacts. Of course, you can add them one by one because we don't always need to import them. Usually one main import and all the other contacts will be added individually. If you notice, there are only 3 fields that are actually required, and that's the first name, the last name, and an email address. Now, I had somebody say to me, well, what if I have somebody's name, I don't have their name, but I have their email address? Well, you're going to have to make up, you can't add them unless you have the first and last name. Now, if the email address is jsmith@gmail.com, I would just put Mr. Smith, Mr. as the first name, Smith as the last name, or put the first initial with the period as the first name. But it is always a good idea to get a first and last name. And if you have outside forms from different third-party suppliers that you use for your forms, make sure that the first name, last name, and email address are marked as required on your forms so that you don't have any issues with that. If you have any of the other information about them, I strongly suggest that you add it. If there are any notes such as where you met them, possibly they may have mentioned an upcoming trip, anything that you would like to add to this person's contact file, you can add in the notes. And at the bottom, you have the option to select any travel interests that you know that they have. Once you have entered all the information that you have for this person, then you can go ahead and click Add Contact, and they are then added into your database. And they will begin to receive any of the weekend travel newsletters the very next Thursday once you add them. The other way that you can add contacts into your Marketing Center is through an import. So the first thing you want to do is download the template. And this template gives you the order in which all the fields must be in order for it to correctly import all of your contacts. We'll give this a second to actually finish opening up. I don't know why it opens up this way every single time. Okay, so you'll see that the columns are basically titled with the same fields that we just saw when we were adding a contact individually. Okay, they must be in this order, and if one contact you have all this information for them and the rest you only have first name, last name, and email, that is perfectly fine. It isn't a problem at all. Everything will be imported per line into that contact's record. Okay, so once you have, whether you're using Clientbase or whatever other third-party CRM system you might be using, most of them allow you to export your contacts. All you have to do is just make sure the format for those are exactly like this. You know, it could be first space name. All you have to do is, if they're in the exact same order, just make sure that these titles across in row 1 match what is in your exported file, and you can save this file, and then you'll want to browse for the file that you just saved. Okay, once you click browse, it will open up the file and put the file name in here. And if you have at the bottom, you can also check off any travel interests that they might have. But just remember, anybody that you're importing into that list, any of these interests that you check off at the bottom will be checked off for everybody. So if you know that, half of those people in there, if you check off weddings or honeymoons and they're already married, and you happen to send out an email based on the interest of honeymoons or weddings, it could present a problem. So just make sure what you check off at the bottom under travel interests. And again, once you're done, you've completed adding everything in. Unless you select a different mailing list, it will default to the master, which again is a good idea for everything to be in your master. Then you can click on import list. Now we get the error because we did not upload a file, but at the end you will receive a pop-up screen. If you imported 100 names, you will get a number of those that were imported correctly and any number of contacts that had issues. So between the two, they will add up to the number that was in the spreadsheet. So those two would add up to 100. Most of the time, if there's an issue with the import, you will get with the contact, it's like a bad email address, something like that. Okay, so that is the main topics or the main ways that you can import or add contacts into the Marketing Center. Now, once you have your contacts in the Marketing Center, you need to make sure that you can edit, delete, or add. So if I need to add someone from within that's in the master list and I need to add them into another list that I just made, maybe their birthday is in January, any list that you already have made, you would be able to scroll down through, click on that list, and then add that person into that particular list. Okay, do we have any questions so far? All right, so let's move along. And the next section that we're going to jump into will be actually setting up email campaigns. And once we click on campaigns, we click on create new, you will see that there are two sections, customizable themes and ready to go themes. Okay, let's look at the bottom, the ready to go themes. So what these are, they're exactly what the title says, ready to go themes. So if we preview one of these, this is for Charisma Hotels and Resorts. This is automatically populated by Charisma. It includes their latest specials and perks that they have available right now. And this is automatically updated for you. Okay, so this is ready to go. And all you have to do is select this, come in and add an email subject, do the spam score test, which I will get into a little later, and schedule when you want this to go out. Okay, unlike the customizable themes, you can't change these. This is the way that Fiesta Americana, Charisma, and Cayman Islands have their templates set up. It's good to go. Nothing else is needed. But if you want to come in and you have a particular special that you want to send out to your clients, you have a newsletter of your own you want to create, then you can come in and look at the different options for customizable themes or templates. Okay, the customizable aspects of this, everything can be changed. So if you click on hotel and resort and do a preview of this, okay, you'll see the same default information pretty much in each template. Okay, the same great travel offers at the top. All of this can be changed. Okay, so you can either choose to go in to, we saw that the hotel and resort template had an Azul special in there. If we click on the sports and adventure, let's see, this doesn't have anything below it. It just has the main image and a little bit of the same text. So you can add information at the bottom. I personally use my own, the customized template. So if we click that and just take a quick look at it, okay, you can go in and change this. Now, I have already done that by updating my own. Let me see if I can find, I have so many templates in here. Nope. These are almost all of these are from, let's see. Let's go here and look at It's Yachting, Not Cruising. Okay, so this, I took the template that has our name on it and customized that and included the Sea Dream Yacht Club flyer. But I created this template and saved it. And then I can reuse this over and over. So once you select and create the template and customize it to your own colors and your own agency themes, then you don't have to do it again. Now, what I mean by that is this was It's Yachting, Not Cruising. So if I want to utilize the same template, all I have to do is come back in here to the sent folder and click on clone. So if I clone it, it's now going to appear in my drafts folder. So if I go back into drafts, you'll see here's that, the same template. Okay, so that's my suggestion. I'm very anal about wanting everything to go out that is on brand for my agency, meaning my agency colors, everything like that. I apologize if you hear the dog in the background. My daughter just left to go to class, so he's going to bark for a few minutes, so I apologize for that. My office is right above where he's at right now. So make sure you go in and change up your template. Now, how do you do that, you ask? So if we go into Create New, open up the customizable template that has our agency name, and then click on Next. We are brought to the screen where we can make all of those changes. Okay, so earlier I mentioned when I brought up the ready-made template, I spoke about the spam score. So what the spam score is, this is a test that is done to make sure that your email subject passes all of the general tests so that your email does not end up in your client's spam folder. So let's, I'll show you what happens. We're going to choose one of these. And I probably spelled that wrong, but the point of it is I'm trying to get the spam test to fail. So once you type in the subject name, scroll down to the bottom and click on Run Test. And it'll take just a few seconds for that to come back, and you'll see it isn't below 1.0, so it failed. You cannot send out any email that has failed a spam score. Okay, so what you have to do is go back up and you need to change the name. So the reason why this has failed, it's because of the punctuation above the E. So if you like that name, you can try to run it again by removing the punctuation. And the reason why that failed, now it's 0.0. If you notice that in a lot of the spam emails that you get, there will be odd punctuation here and there. There will be, you know, asterisks, a lot of different characters above the different letters. That indicates, even though in this case it wasn't a spam, that's what the system is set up to do. Okay, so a lot of other email, whether it's Outlook, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, any of those, they all have their own criteria, but this takes into account the generalizations across all of them, and that's why that name failed the spam test. So you'll want to fix that, and then you can start customizing this template. So the background is currently white, so if you just click in that square, you can change it to whatever you want. Okay, you can move your cursor around. You can see how the tone changes as you move the cursor. If you have the exact hex code, you can go ahead and type that in here. And then once you have the information that you need, or the color that you want, I should say, then you can go on to the next. So background color is this, the gray. So you can see how when you change this, and of course you want to make the template aesthetically pleasing. So just make sure you're being cognizant of the colors and what it actually looks like. I had someone ask me or mention in one of my previous webinars, well, wouldn't it be better to make it really bright and bold and obnoxious to grab your contact's attention? You can certainly try that, but me personally, if I opened up an email that looked very bold and bright and was kind of hurtful to the eyes, I probably wouldn't give it the time of day, because I would think that it was spam that just made it into my inbox. So certainly your choice, but just giving you my honest opinion of what I would do in that case. Now you can also change the font. I'm a Times Roman girl or Times New Roman girl, so I like to change it up. You can, of course, change the font to anything that you would like. Was currently white. You can make it gray. Any of these, obviously, the lighter you get, at a certain point, you can barely see it. So you definitely want to make sure that your receiver of the email is not straining to read or look at your email. The link color. So if you put or insert any hyperlinks, this would be for that color. So you can select anything you want. And then of course you can add a border around it. So let's just make the border black. So you saw that it was the border in between. Okay, and once you've done that, your customization as far as the look and feel is complete. But now you can move on and you can change what is contained in the actual email. So for instance, you might just want to put your agency name at the top instead of your, great travel offers from your travel agent. That seems very generic to me. So I wouldn't want to send out an email with that at the top. So let's go ahead and change it. You can make it bold, italicized, underline it, subscript, postscript, subscript, all of these different options. Now, we already set the font color over here to the left of the body. So all of the text will be the same color. You can't make this text one color, the text in the middle another color. It all has to be the same. Moving on down for the image, isn't an image that you would like. What you want to do, you will have to delete this image. And now we'll go down to the bottom where it says add new content, and we're going to click on this square and we're going to choose custom. Okay, once we click on custom, the screen that opens up, if you have created any website pages for your website, you will realize that this is basically the same template that you use to create a page for your website. And this icon right here allows you to insert an image. Now you can either browse the server or you can choose to upload an image. So we'll just go ahead and grab something. No, I think these are all from an itinerary that I was creating. So yeah, we're gonna put in dinner. We'll just use this for our sample. And you can adjust the height and width. If you wanted to automatically adjust proportionally, you should let the lock closed. But if you want to indicate exactly what you feel the width and height should be or what you want it to be, then you should click the lock so that it opens up and allows you to indicate the exact height and width. You can say okay, and then it inserts your image. If that size is okay for you, then all you need to do is save it. If you wanted to put any text or anything above it, you can certainly do that above or below it. But let's just go ahead and click save. And now that's a little bit smaller than what the box is. So if you wanted to change that in any way, you would click edit. First of all, let's click that. Now it says that it's centered, but it did not really look centered when we went in there. And we can make this a little bigger. And my image is probably going to start to get blurry because it's just a small, it was copied from a smaller image. So, okay, looks pretty close. So let's go ahead and save. And now if it isn't in the same spot that the original image was, so you click on the sort and you just keep moving it up. Here again. And now you can see the image is back into the same slot that the original image was. Okay, and again, you can keep playing around with the size until it's the size that you want it. Now, here's the body of the email. I think that you probably would want to insert a little bit more than this into the email. So let's just delete that. Now, the percent, first name percent, what that indicates is that it is a merge field, and it will pull the first name from every contact that you have in your list. Okay, so you can add any and all of these merge fields, which these are the same fields that were in the contact form that you could fill out when you added your contacts into the Marketing Center. Now, just a heads up, if you type, something like a paragraph, and then for some reason you wanted to insert their country or their postal code for whatever reason, if you don't have the postal code entered for every contact, there will be an empty space there. So I really honestly never have the need to use any. I don't even use last name. I use first name pretty much, and that's it. But of course, the choice is up to you, and you might come across a reason why you want to include those other fields. I just wanted to point out that that is what would happen if you don't have that field filled in for everyone. Now, if you want some punctuation after the first name, whether it be a comma or a colon, semicolon, whatever it is you want to put after that, you want to type it there, and then you can hit enter, and you're ready to type whatever message you want. So let's go to Belize, and then whatever else you would like to type to them. You can also insert hyperlinks. So if you typed a message about a certain destination and you want to include the link to your trip inquiry form, all you have to do is go out to wherever that trip inquiry form is on your website. Okay, we are having a very, very torrential downpour right now, so our internet's going to be super slow. I literally ran from not even 25 yards to my car, and I was drenched earlier this morning. So this is going to take a second to open up. Okay, well, let me do something else. Let me just go out and grab, let me just grab the website. Okay, sorry, unavailable. Okay, maybe, maybe Agent Studio is having an issue. Let's see. And if it is, I would not be surprised if the Marketing Center doesn't go offline. Okay, basically, we'll just improvise. What you do, once you've copied the link, then you go up here to the little link, click on that, and this is where you would put in the URL. So trip inquiry. I think it's actually, they do trip, I don't know, whatever it is. So you would paste the link into the URL and then say okay. And now you see that changed color. So that now will link out to whatever, whether it's a trip inquiry form, a contact us form, it could be a link to a Travefy itinerary, whatever you linked in there. When your clients get this in the email and they click on this link, it will take them to that specific location. Okay, so save that. And now down at the bottom, this is where, a lot of people say, oh, well, I use Constant Contact, I use MailChimp, I use, Aweber. There's a ton of different email services out there, but none of them integrate with your website. And this is worth its weight in gold, because all of these deals, all of this information, it's linked right to your website. So let's click add new content. If we wanted to add a news article about Belize or wherever it is, click on that. It said news. So let's type, I don't know, we can type in anything, travel. I mean, it's going to bring up a million things. So it's bringing up in chronological order the latest travel news articles. Okay, so you can scroll. And for those of you who have been on previous webinars of mine, you know that my Mac does not like to scroll. So that's the issue with not being able to scroll. So when you find the article you want, all you have to do is just click the plus and it's included. Want to add another one, RVing, let's click that. Now it's already automatically formatted perfectly for us. You want to go in, you want to add a destination. We put Belize up in the body of the email. So let's just search Belize and you get these options. Okay, let's just add that into the newsletter as well. You want the destination to be up at the top. All you have to do is do exactly what we did with the image. Click on sort and move it up to the top. Now, we have the deals. These are any of the deals that are included on your website. Let's search for Belize. So these different cruise itineraries stop at some point in Belize. So let's just add one of those into the mix as well. So now with just a few clicks, you have added your own content. You have also added news stories, destination information, and promotions. And it's that easy. Down at the bottom in the footer, which you want to look at this too, because you see my logo kind of fades. It doesn't show up that well. So I would want to pick something different before I sent this out. But this information is all pulled from your control panel. Let me see if I can get this to work again. Oh, there we go. So everything that you've entered in site configuration and your social media manager is where it pulls all of this information from. And of course, at the bottom of every email that you send out, there is the unsubscribe button, okay, because that has to be there. Now, once you have your newsletter exactly how you want it, it's already saved, but out of habit, I've learned the hard way, I just save it anyway. You can click next. And now we are ready to choose who we want to send it to. So if you want to send it to everybody, or that's the only list you have, then you would click on Master List and then click on Next. And this is where you can preview your email. So this is what this email would look like. Exactly like this. And when your clients get this and they click on something, it will take them directly to your website. Okay, you can also do a test, and I always send everything to myself so that I can just double check and look at it. You know, I can look at something in here and it looks perfectly fine, but when it comes in my email and I open it up and I look at it again, sometimes you can see a misspelling. It's just the different, you know, it's in a different format in a way. I always do it just for good measure. And then once you put in the email address, you click send now. That will send the email directly to you. And the only thing left for you to do is to schedule when you want the webinar to go out. Now, if you notice that This says 3:03 because it is basing this time off of Eastern time, because that's where Agent Studio and these servers are. They're in Eastern time zone. So for me, it looks like, oh, well, that's going to be, an hour and a half from now about. But really, it's only going to be about 20, 23 minutes. I don't know why it comes up with the number 23, but you can't schedule a campaign to go out any earlier than like 23 minutes from the current time. But you can change it, make it a lot later. To change the date, all you have to do is click in the date. Well, obviously that was stupid. I clicked in a past date. That's not going to work. And then you can click in here, change the hour, the minutes, whatever reason, and then you can click schedule. If you need to step away and can't schedule or complete this email right now, you can click save and it will go into your drafts folder, and then you can go in and find it. If you're ready to schedule it, you click schedule and it will show up in your queued. Okay, so it brought us right into the queue, and you will see that it's ready to go. Now you can edit, clone, delete, and preview up until the time that this is set to go out. Now, because I don't want this to go out to everybody, I'm going to delete it right now before I step away from this section. So you saw the only thing I did was click delete, and I can delete it here, and now it's gone. Okay. Anytime you send out an email campaign, they all show up in here. Okay, and like I mentioned, you can rerun something. When you click rerun, you can say, well, I want it to go to the full list or the ones that did not open. Normally, you send it to those that did not open it. You give it a new subject name, reset up the scheduled run, and again, it will end up in your queue. Okay, do we have any questions so far about creating the templates, what happens? Any questions at all? Okay, here we have a question up here from Rhonda. Rhonda says, what would the clone option be used for? Well, I clone, once I created, let me go back into campaigns. Once I customized the email template to match my agency colors and everything, I don't want to do that every time. So I clone that same template all the time. So if I look at this is the same colors. I also had an email template professionally done, and that one is, let's go to sent. That's this email template. Now, both start out with the same image at the top, but at the bottom, it's laid out a little bit different. So I had somebody create that for me, and I will clone this. So I can come in here. I don't want to have to redo all of that. So I come in here, I will clone this, and it will end up in my drafts. Now at the top, it's a clone of that Happy Thanksgiving. I can edit this, and the only thing I have to do is come in here and change the verbiage in the middle. I don't have to do anything with any of the contact or the colors and fonts and things like that, because I like everything to go out the same way. I like the same templates because they represent my agency, and they can tie that information or those email templates. I have, when my clients check into a hotel or a resort, they get a welcome letter from me that the resort delivers on my behalf. It has the same theme. My business cards are the same way. So I have all of that set up. That's why I clone my templates. Okay, we had another question. Demetra asked, curious to know why you have contacts categorized by birth months. So great question. And I normally go through that when I'm in there. I send out, instead of sending individual emails out on the exact date of my client's birthday, I send out one at the beginning of the month, and I add the clients in as I gather their birth dates. So at the beginning of the month, I have a birthday template set up, which is another reason to clone an email. And I send that out at the beginning of each month, and it goes to everybody who I've added. Now, it's a work in progress because, it seems like every time I start and get on a roll, then I get busy with booking travel, which is absolutely wonderful. So I will forego that. Being able to add everyone into their correct month in exchange for bookings any day, but that's what I use those for. Can we see one? Of course. Let's go to drafts. Let me bump that back up. Let me close that. The happy birthday. Here is my birthday email, and I will use the same one. I started this in like October, I think. So I will send out the same one with the same, little GIF in the middle, or GIF, however you choose to say it. And it's utilizing the same template, but again, I just changed it in the middle, and that's what I send out. You can put in here a little gift, discount, something enticing to your clients, and that's what I send out for my clients' birthdays. So again, another reason to I just clone this and utilize the same exact template. Let me, before I jump into analytics, let's just make sure. Demetra asked, when you feature a deal, do you worry if the lead or client will book on their own? If the deals actually lead right back to our website. So for example, this isn't in the exact same layout as what our templates are in our marketing center, but these deals pull from our website. So if your clients get this and they click on one of these, it's going to bring them here to your website, okay? And then they can either book, if it was a cruise, they would be able to book the cruise, or if they want to request a quote, they can click this button. This information, it opens up a form that they can fill out. This comes directly to you. You'll get an email notification, and they can also send it to a friend. They have a question, and then it brings up some additional deals at the bottom. So the deals that we include in our emails, or that gets sent out in the weekend travel newsletter, all lead back to our website. Now, there is the chance that they could go to the Carnival website direct and book, and you're going to have that. But for the most part, when they click on it and they're receiving your email, obviously if they haven't opted out, they either want to do business with you or are thinking about doing business with you in the future. So getting that email and then clicking on the deal brings them to your website. So I would say the chances of them booking direct with Carnival would be pretty slim. Otherwise, they would have opted out of your email. You're welcome. Okay, so great questions. Thank you. I love it when people ask questions because it brings another dimension to the webinar. The last thing that I have to go over about the Marketing Center is the analytical aspect of it, which is a great tool. You can see, and I don't know why when I do things, a lot of my stuff comes back with issues. Normally this doesn't happen. And if you do send out campaigns and you get all zeros, please make sure you put in a support ticket and let them know. I asked how often this seems to happen, and I haven't received an answer yet, but normally it ends up looking like this. Gives you your total sent, the unique opens, how many people click through, how many emails bounced, and how many people unsubscribed. Okay, so this gives you great insight. If, a lot of people like this, then, maybe a lot of people are interested in cruising. Or if that was, maybe the title was, let's go to Cancun. If a lot of people opened it up, then maybe, a lot of people like the option of Cancun or maybe Mexico. So if I wanted to rerun this campaign, again, the rerun feature to the full list or those that did not open. And since that was about it's yachting, not cruising, I could change this and include maybe Sea Dream. It's yachting, it's luxury yachting, or change it up. But you definitely want to change the subject and then schedule the rerun for that. Demetra asks, so do you use this marketing center as your primary means of a newsletter? I use Constant Contact, but now have to reconsider since seeing this. I hated Constant Contact, and I'm a techie. I worked for a software company. Technology is like inbred into me, and I hated Constant Contact. So my hats are off to you for using that. But this is so much easier. I don't send anything out. I even use this, as you saw, for birthday wishes. If I want to look at and see who's opened the emails and things like that, I use this to send out pre and post emails for trips. Like your month before, I'll send out an email like you're a month out from your trip, give them some tips. I use the Marketing Center for all of that. Yes, it is a huge savings of time and money. I honestly, and I'm good. I use different third parties, add-ins and plugins in my website and things. I try a lot of different things out, and I hated Constant Contact because I didn't know what to create. I had to create everything by myself, where here, just a couple clicks and it's formatted. It links them right back to our website, and it's perfectly, everything that we add, the deals, all of that, it's all perfect. So I definitely suggest utilizing the Marketing Center. And even if there's something that you really like about Constant Contact, my suggestion is that then you use both of them and you import your contacts into the Marketing Center just so your clients can get the weekly newsletter, the Weekend Travel, on your behalf. Because I like to write, and I have a blog, and my dream is to write 2 or 3 articles a week, and I'm lucky if I get to write one. So I'm the same way with a newsletter. I don't trust that I'm going to have time. So I want my name and something going out to my clients every week. So by adding them into your Marketing Center, they're going to get that email every week. And if you have a chance to create something new or have a special promotion, like I wanted to promote holiday travel for Sea Dream, they had some availability that we were trying to push. And so I did an email campaign for that. But otherwise, I'm scraped for time. So I don't trust, that I'm going to get the time. So I like the fact that they will automatically get that every week. So yeah, Demetra, that's a great idea, is to use both. Currently do a newsletter every other Monday. I can use this for the alternative week for more of a presence. Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And I would do exactly what you're doing and use the Weekend Travel as one of your options for that. Any other questions? We have about 5 minutes left. I do happen to have a hard stop. I am actually meeting with a supplier this afternoon, so I need to run out and meet her, and I will be drenched again in our torrential downpour. Although I can't complain about 70 degrees in December, so that's enjoyable, but the rain aspect of it, not so much. Let's see if we had another one. Let's see. Can it be shared over social media? It can if you take and convert this. Whoops, not what I wanted to open. You can take this and convert it into an image through Adobe, which means exporting it into a PDF. So first you would save it, do a file print. This is on a Mac. So I would do, whoops. Oh, it's going to print somewhere. Where it says PDF, I would do save as the PDF. And I probably have something set for no color. Oh, it's saying low ink. That's why, whatever printer I sent it to. But it will normally export in color. Do a save as PDF. And then open it up. Let me save it to my desktop. And now let's go into Adobe. Go to my desktop and pull this up. And now you want to delete this off the top. And now you can take this and export this PDF. You want to resize it too. I can't resize on this with being on the webinar. I'm not very good at it. Someone gave me the control. It's like shift control and something else. But you shrink this to one page and then you do an export from here. You export it to an image and then you select, and then you can share the image out over social media. All right, so yes, that's a way. Whoops. I also would like to start saving these and put a section on my website for the weekly newsletter so that, you know, if somebody didn't get it, or, you know, actually a lot of people, we know a lot of people don't look at our emails, but they see that section and they can think, oh, I think I get that in an email. They'll connect the two and then start looking at it. So that's another option that you can do as well. All right, so the last thing I want to mention before I go is that the webinar is being recorded, and tomorrow afternoon, by the end of the day, you will be able to watch you can rewatch today's webinar by going to the Agent Studio YouTube channel. I'm just going to take you there right now just so you get an idea. Once you get to YouTube, search Agent Studio, then select the Agent Studio page. And then once you're here, you want to click on videos. And then all the previous webinars will appear. Yesterday's should be up by the end of the day today. And then today's will be up by the end of the day tomorrow. Okay, and you will receive 24 hours after the webinar, you will receive an email thanking you for joining, and it will give you the link to this page. Okay, and then you can see the different webinars that I've done. They aren't all up here. We're just now starting to build this out. So this will be growing. And it's also, if you have time, it's a great idea to go back and watch other webinars on the same subject, because different people attend and they ask different questions. So somebody might ask a question that you didn't even think of, so you can get a little bit more insight into that topic. All right. Oh, thank you, Demetra. I appreciate that. Oh, that makes me feel so good. She says, My webinars are fantastic. She's revamped her entire website based on them. That makes me feel so good, and it makes doing this worthwhile, because I love the fact that I can help and give advice and, you know, share my mishaps, and that way you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. And if I can help in any way, it makes this all worthwhile. So thank you so much for that. Yes, I do too. The videos are now available because the last platform that we switched to, you were supposed to automatically get that within minutes after the webinar was over. And I just last week got an email that said, oh, the replay feature is working. So we went to pull up, tried to pull up the original SEO webinar that I did, and it took them like almost a day in order to get me the link. So it still isn't working. So we switched back, and even though it does take 24 hours to get it up on the website, they're up there, so, and available, which is great for everyone. So thank you all for coming. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow on our SEO webinar, and if not, I hope everyone has a great holiday, a great Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and I will see you either tomorrow or next Tuesday, I believe is the next, or Wednesday actually. Next Wednesday will be the webinar for next week. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on another webinar. Thank you so much for joining.